Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are going to dive headfirst into the revolutionary biological highway that literally connects your stomach to your mind. I'm absolutely thrilled to guide you through this, honestly, because what we're about to cover completely changes how we think about mental health and human biology. It is a real game changer. So let's jump right in. Just think about the sheer scale of the global mental health crisis for a second. According to the World Health Organization, over 970 million people are living with a mental illness. Just recently, we saw major depressive and anxiety disorders spike by 28% and 26% respectively in a single year. And yet, for millions of patients out there, traditional psychiatric drugs offer, well, frankly, incomplete solutions. Patients usually have to deal with this trial and error blanket approach that often brings systemic side effects and really unpredictable results. So it begs a pretty massive question. What if the limitations of our current treatments just mean we've been looking in the wrong place all along? What if the key to fixing the brain actually lives down in the gut? To show you just how powerful this connection is, you have to hear about this staggering finding. Researchers at King's College London and APC Microbiome Ireland ran a landmark study. They took gut bacteria from human patients who were suffering from Alzheimer's disease, and they transplanted it into healthy, young animals. And guys, the results were wild. The young animals actually developed memory impairments. They started producing fewer new nerve cells in the hippocampus, which is the memory center of the brain. The illness was literally transferred through gut bacteria. That completely validates the awe-inspiring and kinda intimidating power of the microbiome. It's not just along for the ride, it actually plays a causal role in neurodegenerative and psychiatric conditions. So here is our roadmap for the explainer today. First, the gut-brain connection. Second, what are psychobiotics? Third, how microbes control mood. Fourth, engineering the medical future. Fifth, AI and personalized treatments. And finally, challenges and next steps. All right, part one, the gut-brain connection. It's a bidirectional highway. For the longest time, science basically treated the brain and the gut as two totally separate systems, but we now know they're deeply connected by what's called the microbiota gut-brain axis. Think about the vagus nerve for a second. It acts like a giant, high-speed fiber optic cable running straight from your intestinal tract right up into your central nervous system. But it's not just electrical signals bouncing back and forth. This communication network also relies heavily on immune system signals, endocrine hormones, and metabolic pathways. When your gut gets inflamed, or when the microbial balance is thrown out of whack, which is called dysbiosis, it sends stress signals right up that highway. That increases neuroinflammation and physically alters your emotional state. Moving right along to section 2. What are psychobiotics? The mental health microbes. Okay, so if the bacteria in our gut can send signals that cause anxiety or cognitive decline, can we send good bacteria down there to reverse the process? That brings us to psychobiotics. Now, I want to be super clear here. We are not just talking about grabbing a standard cup of yogurt at the grocery store. We are talking about a groundbreaking new class of psychotropic drugs. The concept really kicked off around 2013. Basically, psychobiotics are highly specific live microorganisms that, when you consume them in the right amounts, actively hack into that gut-brain axis we just talked about. They're designed specifically to yield mental health benefits, lowering stress, reducing anxiety, and fighting depressive symptoms by fundamentally altering your neurobiology. Which brings us to section 3, how microbes control mood. Neurotransmitters in the gut. You might be wondering, how exactly does a microscopic bug living in your intestines actually change the way you feel? Well, at the microscopic level, these beneficial gut microbes are directly manufacturing major neuroactive chemicals, chemicals we usually only associate with the brain. For instance, specific strains like Bifidobacterium actively produce GABA, and GABA is absolutely crucial because it's an inhibitory neurotransmitter that calms anxiety and helps you sleep. Then you've got serotonin, the famous well-being and mood chemical. Believe it or not, a massive portion of your body's serotonin is actually synthesized right in your gut. These bacterial byproducts interact with receptors in your gut lining, they stimulate the enteric nervous system, and then they fire those positive calming signals right back up the vagus nerve to your brain. Let's dive into section 4, engineering the medical future, from nature to nanotech. While natural psychobiotics are already incredible, the medical field is taking this a massive step further. We're talking about leaving standard biology behind and stepping into synthetic human engineering. There is a really critical difference to understand here. On one hand, you have conventional psychobiotics. These are naturally occurring strains, like certain types of lactobacillus, which are awesome for general gut health and maybe handling mild stress. But on the other hand, we have the true medical frontier, engineered psychobiotics. Using synthetic biology and gene editing tools like CRISPR, scientists are literally designing custom microbes from scratch. For example, they're genetically altering E. coli strains to pump out massive targeted doses of GABA, or they're designing synthetic bacterioids to deliver dopamine precursors directly into your system. These are precision-targeted microbiological machines designed specifically to fight severe neurodevelopmental and psychiatric disorders.
That takes us to Section 5, AI and Personalized Treatments, the Precision Microbiome.
Here's the thing. Your gut microbiome is as unique as your fingerprint. So how on earth do doctors know which engineered strain to give you? The answer, of course, is artificial intelligence. Let's walk through how this futuristic medical process actually works in practice. First, AI and machine learning algorithms analyze the high-throughput sequencing data of your specific, unique gut microbiome. The AI basically predicts exactly how you'll respond to different strains. Second, based on that data, synthetic biology uses CRISPR to engineer a custom psychobiotic strain just for you. Finally, they have to get it to the right place. To survive all that harsh stomach acid, these custom microbes are packaged in smart enteric-coated capsules or nanoparticle biosensors. And these biosensors are genius. They literally remain sealed shut until they detect specific biological markers or localized inflammation in your intestine. Then, boom, they release their neuroactive payload at the exact right moment and location. So, the big takeaway here is that we're looking at a massive paradigm shift. We're moving away from traditional psychopharmacology, which, let's face it, often relies on a trial and error, blanket approach that can cause a lot of systemic side effects. Instead, we're stepping into the era of precision psychobiotics. This is hyper-personalized medicine. It's tailored to your exact microbial signature with targeted delivery that keeps off-target side effects to an absolute minimum. We are literally treating the mind by meticulously curating the ecosystem of the body. Finally, Section 6, Challenges and Next Steps. Let's ground the science a bit. Now, as much as I absolutely love this futuristic vision, getting it from a high-tech lab to your local pharmacy is no small feat. There are some major hurdles we still have to clear. First, that massive inter-subject variability I mentioned, it means a bug that cures depression in one person might do absolutely nothing for you. Second, the advanced omics, sequencing, and AI analysis required to map out someone's microbiome is just prohibitively expensive for everyday clinical use right now. Third, trying to get genetically engineered live biotherapeutics approved by health authorities is an incredibly complex regulatory nightmare. And finally, there are real, serious ethical considerations regarding permanently modifying the human microbiome. We need massive, rigorous clinical trials before these biohacks become mainstream, just to ensure we fully understand the long-term impacts. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of our journey today. We've traced this incredible biological highway, all the way from your digestive tract straight up to your neurons. We've seen how tiny microbes can literally manufacture our moods, and how science is using custom bacteria and AI to create the precision psychiatry of tomorrow. To me, it completely redefines what it means to be human. We are essentially walking, thinking, breathing ecosystems. So I'll leave you with this provocative thought to ponder. For centuries, we have tried to solve mental illness by looking exclusively at the brain. But as we finally unlock the secrets of our internal ecosystem, when it comes to treating the mind, is it time we finally trust our gut? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll see you next time.